Hello, hello, hello.
OMG. Hello, Brandon.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you? We have a guest here.
We do. We have Charlie in the house.
Guest producer.
Did we? I wonder. Have we talked about? Well, we talked about Charlie being a boy, but I don't know if he's been producer since.
No, I don't think
ever
so.
at all. Maybe. Yeah, he'll be running around, so I'm sure he'll be coming in, and he might even stop the podcast, and we'll have to come back.
Might even get an actual meow.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he's very talkative. He loves yelling at me. Oh my gosh, look at that new Forgetti I leaf too.
Oh.
Anyways, we're at my place because Brandon needed to be handy brandy today.
Installed all the things. 2 out of 3. One
was one that I had already had troubles with, and I just wanted Brandon to try because he has more of a drive to, get that shit done than I do. It was my security camera. So, Mom, if you're listening, Brandon couldn't figure it out either, but he is taking them home with him to see if he can figure it out.
Yeah, it was a struggle. But
I was like, we got to record. We can't be doing this shit. But you hung up my curtains. I don't have a drill, y'all, so that's... And even apparently when I do have a drill, I still don't know how to use it right. So hung up some curtains, 1 out of 2, because apparently I didn't get brackets with my box.
Amazon.
That would happen to me. We also had a desk stolen during the week, which sucked. Isabella was home at the time, so
They strike fast.
A little bit of shade. She heard it happen, but just apparently she doesn't like being perceived. She doesn't like people knowing she's home, so she didn't look out the window. And I'm like, maybe we should look out the window.
I would have done the same thing.
Yeah, so she's like waited for them to be gone, and then she looked, and she's like, I think there was a box there. And I was like, God. Anywho, so we're going to see if we can get that back. Actually, I need to look on Amazon because yesterday when I tried, they said, you have to wait 1 more day.
I hate that.
Yeah, and I'm like, come on.
Like USPS is like, you have to wait 2 weeks until after your package was supposed to be.
Yeah, and it's like, come on, Amazon. Y'all know that you're pretty accurate. Like if it said delivered 2 days ago, like it was probably there. And I love how they're like, did you check everywhere around your house? I'm like, there's only one entrance.
Did you talk to your neighbors? No, I'm not talking to my neighbors.
Yeah, they're like, did you check everywhere?
My neighbors probably are the ones who stole it.
Yeah. Like, no thanks. I'm not jumping through all those hoops. So you got a fun thing today, your first planty tattoo.
I did. So we're sitting here with a pretty big thigh tattoo, just hanging out.
Really cute. It's all your anthuriums.
Very painful. It's the... Nicole actually drew it. It's my...
I technically just traced them on my iPad with my finger.
Well, that's drawing.
Yeah, I guess.
But yeah, we've got a crystallinum, a regal, a crystal blush, a luxe, a queen, a magnificum, and...
Clarnerium.
That you got me.
Yeah, how fun.
And then that's the one that I traded at the plant swap with Diana.
Yeah, I actually used the picture of it that I took instead of the one that you took. And I used the regal picture that you posted on Instagram. So I was like, that's a pretty good one. That's good. But yeah, they look all good together. I like how it was arranged. Check Brandon's Instagram. It'll be on your story if y'all are listening within when this episode's new.
Yeah, and if you're local, it should still be on my story. We're recording this literally the night before.
You can pretend.
So if you're listening to this the day of.
Okay, Brandon, we can pretend that we do some planning.
It was the holidays.
It was the holidays, but I still was like, Brandon, we need to record. We need to. So here we are. And our topic today is kind of a good timing because we're in a YouTube Hoya collab.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of crazy.
I can't even believe it.
So it's not that big of a deal, y'all. It's not like we're chosen.
We weren't chosen.
We were chosen. It's not like we're not anything special. It's just kind of crazy because I really did not like Hoyas for a long time.
Same.
So the fact that I'm in a video
and I didn't like them for longer.
Yeah, and the fact that we're both in a video talking about our favorite ones is kind of crazy. So go check that out on YouTube if you're listening. Probably is up by now. I think it's going up 11 a.m. our time tomorrow.
Yeah, and it's on Yoga and Plants with Rose, ROOS.
Mm-hmm. Love her.
She was thinking about changing it just to Plant with Rose, just like her.
Maybe. But yeah, we're going to talk about Hoyas. It's just we haven't done it before, right? I don't think we have an episode about Hoyas.
I think it was on when we first made our first 20 episodes we wanted to do. It was on that list.
Yeah. And I was like, we never got
years
to it.
ago.
And now here we are. I feel like we have a lot more to say about them too.
We would have just been blubbering on about
Yeah.
how we didn't know much about them.
Yeah, and we don't want to do that, y'all.
And not that we know that much about them. We're not Hoya experts.
But we've kept them alive. We have our favorites. We have ones we don't like. We've killed some. I mean, I've killed some. I don't know about you. Brandon's like, I don't kill plants. Brandon actually has more plants than I do now, because he used to say that I had way more plants than him, but now you have way more.
Yeah.
The way that you have 3 Mills bows. No?
Ruds does. 3 Ruds does.
3 Ruds
a Mills bow, a tent, and those shelves.
Yeah, and mine, like the cabinets that I do have, they aren't even as filled to the brim as yours are. So it's like, I can't do that many. Plus, I don't have as many like light rigs, grow lights rigged up as you do throughout the house too.
I'm surprised none of the neighbors have like complained about the lights shining into their house.
I feel like, I don't know about you, but when I drive by my house, I'm like, oh, you really can't see that much. Like when I look into my house, I think that people are going to see way more than they do.
Mine, you don't see into the house much, but it looks, the way it shines out of the house where we're like wooded and there's not much light. It's just like, it looks like the heavens are parting and the light is just coming out of our house.
Well, what do we have to say about Hoyas? I actually like wrote stuff down, because I'm like, instead of being on my phone, I just want to like write stuff down so then I don't have to flip through it anymore. Most of them grow in the Philippines and also on the island of Borneo. Does that ring a bell?
Yes, it's in the Pacific.
Yes.
I don't know where it is.
So it's kind of over by like Malaysia, Indonesia, because I think it's split up by like 5 different territories or countries in there. But there are a lot of Hoyas like named after this area. There is like a Borneo Hoya. And I also wrote down Sarawak is a state in Malaysia.
Oh,
interesting. So when I'm like zooming, I don't know all these like more uncommon Hoya names, but like zooming in and like looking at like just the names of cities or like states or whatever countries, I'm like, oh, those are plant names.
That's very interesting.
So obviously like the areas came first, but yeah, it's like the more you learn about that, like where plants come from, then it kind of starts ringing a bell, and it's like, oh, that's where they got the name. Because what else did they? Not every name is going to be like Pink Princess. So, anywho, I feel like there's a big love-hate relationship with Hoyas in general. Like people either are obsessed with them or they really despise them. What do you think?
I agree. I think we're kind of the outliers who now really like them, and I don't think a lot of people can say they really like them. They're either obsessed or they don't like them. But what was your reasoning for disliking them originally?
I think that I just thought they were boring, but also I was really only seeing like Carnosa, Pubicalix, like just the kind of more basic ones, Ovavata, and like some of them I really liked. Like my Ovavata is my oldest one.
Yeah.
Like in one of my oldest houseplants in general, but I don't know, none of them were interesting to me. I didn't really like how they looked when they were full. I didn't really like the compacta when people are obsessed with that one. I'm like, I don't know. I don't really like how it looks. It looks so spindly and weird. But then I kind of started, I work at PQ and Maya and Lily love Hoyas. So when they get access to like the growers that have these cool Hoyas, they obviously start getting them in. And then I start seeing them and I'm like, oh shit, that's really cute. I'm like, you know what? Maybe I'll take that. And it doesn't help that they're like, oh, just take it. And I'm like, they're like giving them to me. This is what all the Hoya people do. Eve is giving, all like half of my Hoyas were just given to me because the Hoya people just want you to like them so bad.
They feel very jaded, I feel. They're like, if I have to be in this minority, I'm going to bring you to the minority too.
Plus, I get it now. When your Hoya starts popping off, it's so easy to take a couple cuttings of it.
Oh, yeah. Like my 3 big Hoyas I have that are obviously just the Pubicalix and the Crimson Princess and the, just the basics. Those all came from one single cutting, and now they're like full size plants.
It's nuts. I do wish that some of mine, like my Hoya Bella, grew in like one long strand. It has 3 long strands, and it's so awkward looking, but it's finally starting to like put out some more. I just wanted to get more full. So, and same thing with my Matilde, whatever. Mm-hmm. It's one long strand. And I'm like,
well, we don't know what's going on with mine with all those yellow spots.
They're kind of weird.
Yeah, they're not like any other yellow spot I've ever seen on a plant. But it's thriving. Just
you
keeps
don't
growing.
Have the Hoya disease, do you? I should have done some research on Hoya disease.
I don't think so, but
anywho,
I hope not.
Hoyas are a good pet safe plant for, the plant lovers out there looking for a pet safe plant.
Which is honestly very wild considering they're so sappy and usually sappy plants.
And I hear, this is lower down on my list, people say that they're aroids. I hear all the time that Hoyas are aroids, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
I definitely
You
don't.
haven't heard that? It's the Hoya people that are telling me this. So, people are really good. Like when we tell people to explain stuff to us, they hit us up in the DMs. So if someone knows, like, because I tried to Google too, like what makes an aroid.
Yeah.
And it just like wasn't really specific, and it was just the most generic websites that are like Aglionimas, Divmocus, just like, and I'm like, no, like I want really specific information. So if we have some horticulture people listening to us, which is kind of crazy. Why are you listening to us?
Well, we also have other professionals. We found out how an X-ray works.
Oh my God, the amount of people who message us about X-rays, y'all are awesome. I learned so much. Wow. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When we tell people to tell us things,
but y'all
come through.
Also reference when we ask for that, because the second we ask a question, it disappears from our brain.
We also forget. Yeah, we also forget. So hit us up and say, you asked a question about this, and here's my answer. Because some people, but the most random things too, people message us,
and then we have to like rack our brains together and be like, what is this person talking about?
Sometimes it's from episodes ago, and I'm like, I forget what we say. So you have to tell me, otherwise I'm like, oh, my guess usually if it's like a very out of context message, I'm like, this has to be about an episode.
Be like, in episode X at 15 minutes and 45 seconds, you said this. Here's the answer.
Hoyas are also great in semi-hydro. I forget if you've tried them yet.
I have not. I only have 3 plants in semi-hydro, 1 in pond, 2 in leca right now.
God, that's so offensive. But now you're convinced.
Yeah.
So I think
I have a lot that are like prepped to go in.
Yeah.
I just haven't gotten to that point yet.
It's a big chore. It's not something you can just like throw together. Sometimes you got to really clean shit off. But I have quite a few Hoya in pond. I love them in pond. Some of mine are just in pond in like an old water bottle that I cut, and then it's just sitting in pond, and I need to repot them really badly. I've had a couple in leca. I usually end up moving them over because I let them dry out, and I'm horrible at mixing up my leca nutrients. I'm really lazy.
I'm really bad with leca. I have an issue because they need to be in glass for me to see when they need to be watered, but then when they're in glass, they get all moldy and algae, not moldy.
You could get they make pots now that like the outer part has like a window and you can see how far down the water goes, but also your plants are always like in front of each other and you can't see the pot anyways. What are people getting? Let's talk about the care of Hoyas now and what people are maybe getting wrong about Hoyas, because people are like, oh, Hoyas, they hate me, or like they never grow for me.
I think for me, it's probably not the right way to take care of them. I just consider them my highlight plants, and so I push them right up next to those grow lights. They get so much light, but they love it. They're thriving.
Mm-hmm.
Although I also hear a lot of people who don't like how I grow them because they don't like the aerial roots, because they definitely have like very prosperous aerial roots.
Yeah,
and
yours get high humidity.
so they're just like
I do think that it does like encourage more growth, but it is gross.
Yeah, I'm just like, well, if I cared that much, I'd just trim off the roots.
Yeah,
whatever.
that happened on like my rickrack. I had so many aerial roots. And it was
I
just
don't like the
gross.
rickrack aerial roots.
Yeah, I've trimmed. I'm like, I'm sorry, you got to go. Normally I'm pro keeping the aerial roots, but I'm like, okay, what are you doing here? Bye. But yeah, once I started giving Hoyas more light, that is when they started growing for me, and just like new growth points were popping out of nowhere, and I'm like, oh, I figured it out.
And it's always so slow. It's like whenever I do anything to like change their growing, they're like, oh,
yeah,
we're just gonna sit here for 4 to 5 months and do nothing, and then all of a sudden they're like,
yeah, they love taking their time. And then, so I think there's a little bit of controversy now surrounding the taco test. People used to always recommend the taco test, but now the consensus is that's a little bit too thirsty for Hoyas. And if you can taco, Brandon, you said I hamburger mine, which is true. I don't taco test them, which is why I snap so many leaves. I quite literally fold them in half the other way. If you can like fold that leaf back all the way, like you've probably, I mean, you haven't waited too long. The plant's not going to die, but plant maybe would have rather been watered a little bit sooner. So when I am showing y'all that I'm doing the taco test, I'm just making sure that none of them are deadly thirsty. If I snap a leaf, honestly, good. It's not thirsty, but not good because it's broken now.
And Hoyas are not that I do. I let mine dry out, and then sometimes I don't. So I'm not, but consistent watering is like the one thing Hoya people are always like, consistent watering. And I'm like, ugh, I don't have time.
Yeah, no. But I do feel that like when I'll be consistently watering it and then I let it dry out a little bit too much and any like growth points that were coming out are like goodbye.
Yeah. I'm a little bit worried about my Callista. I don't think it's gonna.
Oh yeah, the last couple leaves I've gotten on my Callistophylla, they're coming in. They're like little 2 centimeters long, and then they're like.
Because remember, mine bloomed, and I was so excited, and then it kept putting out bloom, but then the bloom failed. Then putting out bloom, and the bloom failed. So I don't know if it's gonna grow any more leaves.
I'm sure it'll be fine. Maybe you need to throw it in a pond. Maybe you should just shock it back to life and throw it into pond. That's my vote. So getting them to flower. Now this is our favorite thing now is sending each other our little perdunkies that are coming in.
Love a good perdunkie.
I think that when we start getting flowers, that's it clicked for us.
That's when it secured the deal.
Yeah.
It's no going back.
Deal. I don't think neither of us are in the local Minnesota Hoya group though, right? I'm not in it.
I think I joined it, but it just doesn't pop up.
Yeah, so I think Hoyas, from as far as Minnesota goes, it is our only plant group that has its own group. So there's like a bunch of like general plant groups for our area, but there's a Hoya Heads group for Minnesota. And I haven't joined it yet because I just think that'll be me going over the deep end.
Let me see if I did. I'm very curious because I swear to God I did. What if they rejected me?
That would be kind of crazy. I don't know. But I have, so quite a few of mine are flowering right now, which apparently is odd for winter time, but we're trying to trick them into, not thinking it's winter anyways. I'm trying not to sneeze.
Well, it says I am not part of it, but it just says join group. I'll join it. Answer the questions. Are you from Minnesota? Name 5 Minnesota cities. Oh my God.
Dang, they're really like quiz.
Oh, geography.
Okay, what are we doing?
We're doing Fridley, Coon Rapids.
You're just shooting your area?
Blaine. What else is by me?
Brooklyn Park?
Brooklyn Park and Columbia Heights. There we go. Okay, there we go. I'm a slow typer.
What's the next question? I'm going to start thinking for you.
Let me get Heights out of the way. Will you be respectful and kind to everyone on this page? Absolutely not.
No promises. I promise we are not bullies on Facebook. I love reading the Facebook tea, but I'm usually there long after the comments have been turned off, unfortunately.
Yeah, we only
contribute if I wanted to.
We only contribute in this podcast and our private Snapchats, and that's it.
I've been a little bit paranoid because I'm just like, do we talk too much shit? Are people going to like... I don't know. Is someone going to make it like exposing? I don't know. Is there going to be...
Yeah, what is the expose going to be? These two losers.
Okay, so I don't know about you, but I think this is just like me thinking of every possible scenario of everything ever for no reason. But when like tea videos pop up on TikTok, I'm like, oh, is this about me? and the intro, they start talking about things I've never done before in my life, but I'm still like, are they talking about me? Because I don't know, do I just have such a big fear that someone could be mad at me? Is that it? I'm just like, no. And that's like half my For You page. It's just TikTok drama.
Well, you have not, but I have been the victim of TikTok drama.
Victim of...
Well,
oh, yeah. Should we talk about... It's been long enough. Wait, the like... Not the one. Like the
there's been multiple ones.
Yeah, I'm like, which one are we talking about?
People like to beef with me, but I don't know why. It just doesn't really make sense.
Because you're a charismatic gay, and you're just, they love attacking those.
Yeah, they think I'm not as nice as I actually am. Can you imagine me being mean? Do we have to have
like a spill the tea episode? I don't know. That would be really bad because I feel like I would just say everything.
Once you get rolling.
Well, you see, so this isn't really tea. This is just like more informational. But I was thinking I want to start doing episodes on like who is this person? Who is that person? Just like big people in the plant community, like Doc Block. Like, let's talk about Doc Block and like why you should know his name. And he's not just some like, because I mentioned him the other day in like the plant shop, and someone was like, "Oh, I'm not really big on like the Instagram." Like, well, neither's Doc Block. He just joined Instagram. Like, he's not like some influencer. He's actually a plant person.
Yeah,
he's doing the thing.
Like, like give the history.
Yeah, so it'd be cool to go through stuff like that, but that would require a lot of research and not just like throwing together last minute. So, and I want to talk about that Kunzo guy. I don't think you know who he is.
Kunzo.
He's over in Asia. He's a big Monstera guy. He's known for his like minty Monsteras. So then when people go on Facebook, they'll post, he's like some older guy. People will post these plants and they'll be like, "Oh, it's related to Kunzo's plants or has lineage to his plants."
I see a $3,000 one, a Monstera X Kunzo White Monster.
Right. So he's one of those, the people want his specific Monsteras. So I thought it'd be cool to just kind of like talk about these people, not in like a drama way, but just like these people are cool plant people. But yeah, back to the tea, back to the Hoyas. What we're here for. The wax plant lovers are listening like, what is going on? Wait, it's Wax Plant Wednesday. If you're listening to this.
Oh my God, it is.
It's Wax Plant Wednesday. Maybe we got to post our little Hoyas on the, go check out our Instagram.
Oh my God.
Look at our Hoyas.
In the videos, the collab is coming out on Wax Plant Wednesday too.
Yeah. Oh, she probably planned that. Obviously.
No, she was going to post it today or yesterday.
No, it was still going to be.
But she hadn't recorded her part.
It was still going to be today.
Oh, was it?
No, it was still going to be tomorrow. But she's like, I'll still get it up 24 hours before the premiere. She was like worrying that it was last minute, but she was still done 24 hours before the premiere. So, but you know
Couldn't
what?
be us.
I will say, we got our video.
We were some of the first ones in.
Yes, I will like high five because some people, it was over a week.
And mine was a day late, and I was like, oh no.
So it was over a week later, and some people hadn't submitted there, so I felt really good. We got ours in.
And I was like, I got to make sure mine is fully edited, and so she doesn't have to do anything.
Well, of course, I had issues sending mine over because like I recorded on my phone. It was still like good quality, but then I sent it through email, and then that's why she sent in the group like, "Hey y'all, anyone sending through email? Let's not do that anymore." She's like, "Yeah, it's like really low quality. It's like 320 pixels." And I'm like, yeah, it's more than that. So. Anywho, let's talk about uncommon Hoya, because there's a lot of basic Hoyas. We see a lot of those big baskets in the department stores, the Home Depots.
I feel like Hoyas are finally just getting the Wayeti eyes and the Retusas and just ones you didn't normally see super often. Not that they're super rare, but I feel like that's the extent of most even specialty store selections.
But there's quite a few crazy Hoyas out there, and people are spending a lot of money on just one little leaf. But, same thing for philodendrons and crazy Anthurium people, all that stuff. But I just wrote down like a few staple ones. I mean, people love the Wilbur Graves.
Oh yeah, that is. I want Russian form. I want the Wilbur Graves Russian form.
There are quite a few Hoyas that have different forms.
And apparently Russia is a big proponent of rare Hoya cultivation. I didn't know that. I
think that's like when we order from Indonesia, like the Hoya people are ordering from Russia, or Ecuador when we order Hoyas, not Hoyas, aeroids. I don't know how to say the crassipediolata. I saw that one. It was really expensive, not really expensive, but like kind of expensive, and it looked really cool. It's not helpful when I don't have pictures on my little notebook. A lot of these, like, I'm not super interested in them, like the why can't I say that?
Argentinian princess.
Yeah, but the variegated specifically is the one that people like.
Yeah.
I don't think it's anything special. I don't really like it.
Well, and I also find that sometimes I see like a really good one online, and that really is like just an exceptional individual plant. Not all of them look like that. Okay, so not the normal crassipediolata. There's like some really splashy ones. Like, look at that. Oh yeah, because the original one I'm not a huge fan of.
Yeah, And there's ones that used to be pretty expensive that are a lot easier to get now, like the Serpens. And what was I just thinking of? I don't know, like the Macrophylla. There's just a lot of them that used to be like harder to get that are way cheaper now.
Necrophilia is another one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm. I love it. Variegated Polynura, still pretty expensive. Those were like, I used to see cuttings of those for like over $1,000.
Jesus.
It was nuts.
And it's always so funny because Hoya cuttings are so small.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Variegated Polynura. I think there's a couple of different kinds, but I think the one that usually people go for are the ones that have the white margins.
Yeah.
Pretty cute.
Tiny little plant, $750.
Right.
Jesus.
You told me before we started that you want the New Guinea Ghost.
Mm-hmm. That one's been on my... But again, that's another one where I feel like the ones that I have seen where I've had the opportunity to get it, I'm like, this doesn't look like the ones I see that I really like.
Mm-hmm. I think it's really... Hoyas, I think it really depends on their growing conditions, because mine, like my pubic calyx, when I first got it, where were we at? The one that's in Long Lake.
Otten Brothers.
Yeah, I got it there, and I was like, oh, this is cute. But now, like, with how much light it's getting, I got to show you. The splashy leaves coming in on it, I am like, oh my goodness. Wow. Obsessed. So I do like how they change, and like sometimes every leaf can be a little bit different.
Yeah. And that's like the one that I got there, the princess. It's like it was putting out leaves that were fully... Or was it a queen? Was it a queen or a princess? I don't remember.
I never know.
But the leaves, it had like that one fully white branch that was super cute, but then the branch spread. And half of it dies constantly.
I wrote down to trellis or to not. I feel like usually you don't. You kind of let them go crazy like I do.
Yeah, I don't. I do. The one that I have on a trellis that I got from that swap, I do really like it on the trellis. Normally, I don't like trellises. Normally, trellises, I'm like, ugh, I just hate them.
I think it's because it was already like growing up that thing.
And it's
when I put things on trellises and they haven't like, gotten used to it. The leaves haven't like settled back in. They look horrible. But now yours look so good because it was already used to it. Now it's like growing so much. You can't even see the trellis.
Yeah,
it's just a
it's
ring.
Like an orb.
It's a Hoya orb.
A horb.
Though most Hoyas are epiphytic, and if you don't know what that means, it means they grow up the trees. But I don't let any of mine climb. I don't think. I mean, one of mine, my mini bell just grabbed onto something, and I'm just letting it do its thing.
My only ones that grow fast enough to climb are in my cabinets, and then they try to escape through tiny little holes, and I'm like, no, you cannot go through this hole.
Yeah, yours, especially on those top shelves, they go crazy. And I can't even grab them because they're all growing into each other.
Literally.
It's too much. I just got a blink notification.
Weird.
Brandon was trying to set up my cameras. And if you're looking for a headache, do not get blink cameras. Or if you're not looking for... it says it has disconnected.
Oh.
Whatever. Who cares? So I wrote down wish list Hoyas. What are yours? I mean, you kind of talked about them already.
Yeah, so I really want the New Guinea Ghost. I really want the Argentinian Princess. I really want the Wilbur Graves Russian form. But I actually got quite a few really cool Hoyas lately that I either wanted or didn't know that I wanted.
Yeah, I guess like when we were down in Florida and you grabbed like almost $100 Hoya, I was like, who the hell are you? Are you out of your mind? But it's bringing you joy?
Oh, yeah. That was, I think, because which one was that? It was, I'm so bad with names.
Oh, I just remember the one I was going to say that also got cheaper is the chicken farm. I think that used to be really uncommon, the chicken farm. People wanted the chicken farm, and now it's
I never
cheap.
liked the chicken farm.
When they're, okay, they can look good. I've seen them look kind of fun, and it looks really like the one to me that you just got that you're trying to think of the name of. There are a lot of different Sarawaks too. I don't know.
It's the Clemson. Oh my God.
Clemenciorum?
Yes.
I only know that because I remember you saying it.
Because I could say it very easily, and now I can't. But I love that one.
You need to think of Clementine. I think that'll help you. Clemenciorum, Clementine.
It's because I was thinking Clemson, like the university, and that's what threw me off. But anyway, I really like that one. The Crowiana black dragon. Very excited about that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Hoya Isla Iscanbar.
Scary.
Love it.
There's also the imbricata, which is the one that looks like salami. That's the one like when it sun stresses and it gets
really yeah.
And it gets icky. And I think they fold up when they're not like climbing.
Like meat.
Yeah, it's gross looking. I mean, they're fun, but it also just makes me think of like a little mealybug chamber.
Oh yeah, that's by the Hoya compacta. Like mine makes me nervous. I'm just like,
I know. Even when I come over, and
then it's hard because like it has the water stains that are almost impossible to get off. And then where it started growing after I got it, it's like clear. So if it's ever at like the base where it's all those water stains, it'll be so hard to see.
Yeah, they gross me out. They get them so easily. It's just so gross.
Yeah.
And I feel like aphids really like Hoyas, but you haven't really dealt with aphids.
I've never seen an aphid in my entire life.
Yeah, they're gross.
Not even outside. And I spent my whole childhood outside. My mom, I was talking to her about aphids, and she's like, "You've never seen an aphid?" And I was like, "No."
I don't think I ever saw them outside, but I also didn't really go outside.
Yeah, I was outside 90% of my childhood.
Hoya Bella variegated, I feel like would be a fun one to have. They just look so cute when I see them on people's Instagrams. I'm like, oh, that's fun. I want that one. I wrote down Hoya sigillatus. That's one that I really want to. They can look really like red or purple. They're just like really silvery and splashy and cute. But those are the ones I have written down. I did just recently get the Calistophylla, which is the one that I had on my wish list, and the Huschkeliana variegata. Such a cutie.
Yeah, the sigillatus.
I don't know if that's how you say it.
I think it is. It's because I was saying sig. It's Sig. You're right. That one's beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, they're just a little bit more than I want to spend on them right now. But I feel like if anyone wants to trade, hit me up. I just know that that's one that I could probably trade for or wait for the price to go down. Either way, I really want it.
If y'all have any of these plants we're talking about that we want, just let us know.
Yeah, we're just going to start using this podcast to get free plants because it's gotten us quite a few.
And we are the type of people who, if you give us something, we will give you more in return.
Yeah. We like overcompensate. Brandon's always like, I feel like this isn't enough.
That's my new thing is like, I will buy one. I'll like see what all their plants are. I'll buy like one moderate plant. And then I'll be like, well, if you want, we can have a massive trade along with this minor sale.
Oh my God. I feel like we should have done this first, but I want us to talk about our favorite Hoya specifically, which we do talk about this in the little collab video that we did on YouTube. But which ones bring you joy? Which ones do you check on all the time? Which ones do you think people need to have?
I would say the one that brings me the most joy probably is the Hoya Isla Iscanbar. It is just so unique. It's woody, very woody. Like you could snap it like a twig. Be like, it's not like a regular Hoya where it's like bendy and floppy. I don't know. And then they just like sun stress from the center and it gets like purple, but the leaves look dead. It's just so cool. I don't know. I just love it.
You just sent me a picture of that because I'm not picturing what you're talking about.
I did take a picture of it when I recorded that. So
I feel like even though it's kind of basic, linearis is just.
I do love a linearis.
So hot. I mean, especially when they're full and long, and then when they are flowering, like I could see that at like a wedding, like a whole like wall of linearis with like flowers.
That would be really cool.
That is cute.
And I cleaned the leaves off since. Now they look better.
I thought that was just like the splashiness of it.
Oh, I do really like the Hoya Lisa I got.
That is cool. You like your Lisa. I don't really like the ones that are like variegated like that. I'm more like, I like my variegated Acuta.
Like, look at that color.
Very red, pink, like a coral.
It has every color under the sun. It's really kind of wild.
I feel like Pubicalyx is just kind of a tried and true.
Yeah. I like the Pubicalyx. I get the really big leaves.
They're
certain
also
varieties.
like really easy too.
Yeah.
It's just a very easygoing plant. I'm loving my Mirabilis too. Mirabilis. I have a little peduncle on it. I think 2 now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Double
so many
dunk.
flowers everywhere. They're so slow though. When we see the donkeys coming in, oh my God. It's like, okay, now let me wait a whole month for this to open.
And then you're like, I get to enjoy it for 3.5 days. And then on
I don't know if it's because it was in pond or what, or if it was the specific plant, but my Bella, when that flower was there for weeks.
Oh my God.
It was there for so long. I even like shook it. I'm like, are these flowers going to fall off?
Oh yeah. It's like on the 4th day, I'll accidentally bump into the cabinet and just shake it. And they're
yeah. I do love my normal Hushkiliana, which is the one that's like hanging over there in the stairs. The flowers on it are cute and yellow, and they smell like buttery popcorn, like exactly like buttery popcorn. I want to eat them.
No, I've had no fun smelling flowers so far. All mine have just smelled like
dirt,
flower.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Like pollen and stamens.
Yeah. The Hushkiliana is the first one I've smelled where I'm like, oh wow, that's wild. Everyone needs to smell that. But, don't let your kids smell it because I feel like they would eat it. A little snack.
Kids are the worst.
I feel like I have been around you and like kids only a couple times, and it's awkward because I know that you're like inside.
And the thing is, I mask really well around kids, so they love me. But like a normal adult can see that I'm in terrible, terrible pain.
Yeah.
But the kids are like, oh my God, it's one of us.
Also because we talk to kids like they're humans too. Like,
and they hate that because they just want to be like, coddled, and like they're like,
oh, kids like that.
Well, I know,
to a certain age,
but they like it. They like it because they're like, ooh, a challenge. I need to get this adult to treat me like all the other kids. So then they give you extra attention.
Oh yeah, they latch on. They're like, why are you different? Why are you treating me different? The toxic relationships begin at a very young age. Just like being attracted to people that are no good for you and don't like you to begin with.
Just don't look at me.
I feel like that's all we've got for Hoya. That's kind of it.
Hoya.
I mean, yeah. Okay. Good amount of light. Let's just recap the care because I feel like we kind of bounced around.
Oh, yeah,
okay?
we did.
Good light.
So, a lot of light. Moderate to high humidity.
I mean,
up to preference.
Up to you.
They don't mind being dry.
I would say, like, if you're not going to have any humidity, just, like, don't let it get as dry as hell. Yeah. I have to water I usually forget about mine that are in soil because the other ones, there's so many that are in pond. And, even in pond, when it dries out completely, it's still, or when the water goes away, the pond itself is still wet for a little bit and it stays fine. So I have to remember to water them. Yeah. I do feed them pretty regularly too, regularly-ish, like fertilizer.
I fertilize every time I water, so that's just what I do.
What were you going to say?
What's your propagation tried and true method for Hoyas?
Water. Always. I mean, I water with everything, but they're so good in water.
Mine is controversial. Just stick it in the soil.
I know people do that. I actually have. You would be shocked. I actually did that in my grow tent, but I only did it because I knew it was going to go into like higher humidity. I couldn't just do that and stick it out in my area. I would never water it, but yeah. Do you have a polyneura, by the way? I forget.
No.
Okay, I need to give you cuttings. I just chopped mine up. I'll give you cuttings before you go.
Hell yeah.
Yay.
I just stick mine in the dirt, and then I'll make a full pot, and then it'll just be like bloop, 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 bloop.
Brandon loves just sticking things in the dirt, but you have more humidity and water things are more. I can't do that. All of mine go to shit. Even when I transition from water to soil, it's a struggle because I'm like, shoot, I got to water this thing more.
I think that's the main reason I don't like water propagating is because it is hard for me to remember that they're in transition and like give them extra care that isn't what I would normally do. So that's why I'm just like, just stick it in the dirt, mi amor, mi amor.
Oh my God. I do, I hate those like trends that are kind of like that, but that one is one that I really
I do like that one. Did you see the video of him and he's like, that was me 10 years ago and here's what Diego? What's his name?
I don't know.
The character's name Diego?
From what?
Now
we're getting flamed.
The Pixar movie that song's
Encanto?
from. No.
I don't know.
The Cinco de Mayo one. Or not Cinco de Mayo, Day of the Dead one.
It's not Encanto?
No.
I don't know.
Encanto's the one with the girl, right? The new one.
I don't know. I haven't seen like any new movies recently. People are screaming at their phones right now.
Oh, God.
I'm not good at that. I don't watch anything new. You came over and we were watching Wizards of Waverly Place. Coco. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that I remember. I didn't watch it, but I do remember people talking about it.
Yeah, and then he was like, and he was like recorded this week as like a 10 plus, like a 20-year-old and saying it. It was cute.
I love it. All right, y'all. Where can people find you, Brandon? Or should we talk about anything else? Do you have anything else to say?
No.
We won't keep you guys.
It's been a long day.
It has been a long day. You've been. I can't believe. When Brandon was like, "Yeah, well, I'm going to do everything." I packed everything. The fact that you had all your tools with you.
I've basically been out of the house since 7 a.m.
And you went to the gym before your appointment.
Mm-hmm. Then I just came home, showered, threw the shit in my car, went to my tattoo appointment, came here, and now I have to go to my friend's house because Verizon is sending someone to her house to set up her phone, which seems odd. So she's like, will you come and just be there while this person does that?
It seems late for that, too.
I know. They were like, up until 9 p.m.
Yeah, that's weird. That's odd. Ew. I don't like that.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, that seems sus. So yeah, I'll come over.
Well, where can people find you on the interwebs, Brandon?
You can find me at Brandon Botanical on the TikTok, the Instagram, and the YouTube. You can shop my plants, monsterplant.co, website and Instagram. You can, do I have other things? I think that's it. I don't know.
You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest at Nicole Larson Gross. And make sure you guys follow the podcast on Instagram at Where Are We Growing?
WhereAreWeGrowing.com. And make sure to give us a 5-star review, which I forgot to pull one up. So next week we'll get a 5-star review that we'll read off on air.
Love y'all. Have
Love
a good
you.
one.
Bye.
Stay warm.
Yeah.
Good God.